They say solo boat handlers and sailors usually make the least mistakes. The base knowledge that beyond mistakes lies death and disaster is one. But I'm finding that they get that reputation because there's no one there to witness the fuck-ups and by keeping their mistakes private and swiftly repaired. As I tag along fixing, mending, ultimately breaking, sailing, motoring, enjoying, cursing, bumping into keys, sliding along lock walls or docks, tangled up in too much rope and wanting to employ more, totally getting lost in the middle of the night or in a maze of canals under a seemingly everlasting drizzling rain that soaks your gut and wrenches your joints, drinking tea for miles because you ran out of everything else, and the nearest shop's on land, which is sort of that direction. Getting docking permission at a lock for the rest of the night because the intendant thinks you're too gone and it's odd. You navigate under a small sail going through an unlit approach, ever so slowly, not bumping into markers, floats and buoys. Without a map, these Dutch waters are so treacherous to keelboats, open wide and inviting, lined with field forest industry and grazing cows and sheep, all shapes and sizes cut out through the land, dammed and bridged in all kind of ways, aqueducted over highways and mediated with floodwalls all along the open coast, and all on deep here, there, and sometimes everywhere. Like the Waddenzee, which to me sounds more like a dream for sailing mathematicians with a death wish and a love for algorithms, riddles, and above all, a flat-bottom boat. That trophy of old age inventiveness. That bastion of saying, if a clock can float, then I can sail. That laughingly, peacefully, or with beastly speed racing across. Its wooden but steel-rimmed blades like fins, wings, paddles, blades in the current, with their 2-inch thick bottom plates sliding a fat foot over the river floor, and big bulging bells of sail, acres of sailcloth all over, in tones of dark red to brown, black to white, some with stained glass in the door panels and worked up to a pride piece of heritage, others often matte tar black, like sailing rat bikes in a world of race tuning and floating champagne castles, fuck-fast speedboats and endless lake cruisers, and a little old cracker like mine. With sea salt, that is, the cracker, double baked so it lasts like forever, chewy and saliva stimulating where the water is rationed to tea, soup and coffee and a splash under the armpit ever not so often. More windmills than Don Quixote could have dreamed of. Only this time, instead of taking away craft and condemning man to a slavish routine to the machine, they take off an energy circuit from a polluting and earth-wrecking, fracking and atom-splitting, coal-burning, oil-spilling monster of an industry, leading on to a world of bioplastics and magnetic motors, forest dwellers and houseboaters, roofs of grass and buildings like beehives, anthills and rabbit hole subways, and underground districts like the cavern cities in days of old. So I wonder if you would fight them, Don Quixote, these windmills. So I just brewed up a new batch of an experimental super drink, which is basically a bunch of superfoods like goji berries and cranberries and wheatgrass and not smoking grass, you know, wheat grass and barley grass and miso and mustard powder and some other goodies and mint. You should mix it all up, and it's good, you know, because if you like to keep going for ages and ages, it's very important that you know, feed the body what it needs, you know. So anyway, where are we now? Does the sun still rise because we say so? Or is living on an ever-evolving planet simply too abstract, too eerie, too altering the dimensions to where we are not the center of the universe, but now need to put the responsibilities that we've claimed and squandered in taking dominion of Earth and taking for granted that life is ours to give or take, smack bang in the center of our awareness, actions, aspirations. Not to do any good to any god or anything, but simply to stand a chance at surviving our industry without regard to consequence. Strategic fuck up. That day's best, now or worse. When on a moonlit night you look up and think hard of the fact that the moon is fixed there, which it isn't either, of course, but just think it is and bear with me, and the earth is spinning around, and you then fix your eyes on the moon as a fixed spot, you can feel the earth rotating. It's a bit like butterflies in the belly, really, revolving. You could try it with the sun too, I suppose, only it would burn your eyes out. Try it. Yes, you. We're staring at the moon, I mean. Not burning your eyes out watching the sun, not liable me. Yes, there is a you. You pervert, you nosy, you hidden away and huddled up or outstretched and barely clad, as beauty is to be seen and therefore shown, and a lot is beautiful. Barely clad on a beach bar lounger, you voyeur that wants to be seen. Caught, as you smile a distance when you feel eyes on the wrinkled and sweat-sweet moist middle center of your crotch, your bikini. Wrinkled in the shape of your vagina, your nether yea, your cave of arrival and departure, cum, blood, birth and piss. Your portal to the goddess temple at the gates of orgaspace. Your toothless mouth with the firm and even scissor-like grip, capable of taking a ravishing fuck, yet sensing the slightest, lightest, sweetest touch that peers from underneath your perched buttocks and between your slightly spread, slightly bent legs, as you're lying there with an arched back, leaning on your elbows, reading me. Caught red-eyed and red-handed in the act of prying into my letters, zip-zapping through words, phrases, chapters, with your mind wandering off and your brassiere undone on the back, so you get an even tan and not a mishmash of white top lines like aerial vapor clouds crisscrossing patterns over your airport. Not like ripples, but cuts, slices of lives in continents, cities, countries. You exhibitionist voyeur, you, reader, feel me, I'm in your hands. Now, I don't know if this is the hardback cover. Fuck this. Reader, feel me, I'm in your hands. Now, I don't know if this is the hardcover version or the paperback, or the e-book, or rolling read, or holographic viewer, or audio read, in which case I'm in your head, taking no responsibility whatsoever for what happens in there, not even knowing if your head is a nice place to be in, though, hopefully for your sake, but I can't know, because I'm a book. Books don't know anything. Everybody knows that. And yet I'm talking to you through these words, these symbols of the mind encoding and decoding thoughts, energies, flows, feelings, urges, desires, hates and hurts, aches and ailments, starvations and indigestions, motions mirrored in your motor cortex, so you can partake in the actions and emotions, the scene and scenery, scent and sense, and in doing so, mix and intertwine these words, lines, stories, and grappling ropes of the mind, with all your own and all the stories and lines that make up the living web and fabric of your world, and ultimately many worlds, though there is no the world, never has, never will be, for we can only perceive so much as to procure an incomplete picture, scatterings and fragments of an all-pervasive being that is both being and non-being, and so on and so forth. You get the drift, the ripple that is me, the book, to be, because though you read me, I'm not yet fully there, but apparently I have been accomplished, sweated out, printed and palavered over, paid out and bought. Hopefully, or the author, hi there, or the order, dies like a swan, a salmon that has spawned, a comedian on stage going on a wave of stacked up ripples of laughter, in growing disbelief over his last and greatest disappearing act, leaving the body like a ventriloquist's doll lying there with an eternal yet somewhat freakishly smiling grin. And he, the author, doesn't want to do that, because it's been done before, and would seem and be such a waste of just how much trouble it's taken to get this far. Fucking lot of trouble, by the way. So reward must lie ahead, and it does. If you bought me some time ago, just now, will do in the future, because remember, by the time you read this and I'm reading this to you, this is already in the past, being written. Yet you can read it forever, over and over, and you can pass it on, think, talk, and defecate it, or orgasm it. If you like love, lust it, or all of the above. Orgasm me, I'm a book, faithful like a whore because I'll let anybody read me, private because I'm your copy, safely tucked under your pillows so your dreams and mine can mix privately, intimately, intermingling fantasy and fact with the scraps and scrapings of the daily rippling web that we spin and weave. Cocoon or be cocooned? Is that the question, Morpheus, Möbius, Schrödinger? Tucked into a bookshelf like a brick in the wall of your knowing and growing distance. Carapace of thought and grounding, curiosity and ferocious appetite with fangs for knowledge and eyes on stilts, crabbing through life in an everlasting sleigh of hands. Looking clean because you feel dirty. Razor sharp because you feel so dull. On the edge because that's where life is, always, now and everywhere. Yet in the center of it all, because it's your world. And you're reading it all with all your senses and nerve ends and pressure sense and magnetic dance. And you write it all the same way, and that's the way I do it too. I mean, obviously I'm being written. Obviously. But that's how I exist as well, on the edge and in the center of it all. On the edge, because these words are being written about as fast as you can read them. Exactly. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. And with probably the same amount of intervals for doing everything else in life. Apart from reading, being written, read. Things like writing, sleeping, digesting what's been written or read. Until there's need. Fast tracking through a white night. Tonight again, apparently. Or early Sunday morning, or both. As I'm being done and pondered over right now as I'm being written. In the past. Because you're reading me now. In the future. Of my creation being created. Now. In our future, because you're not reading me yet. Now, while I'm being written. You don't even know I exist yet. In my future, you're now, you do, because you're reading me, the book, on your lap, screen, viewer, in your audio canal, under pillow or last night's Snickers in the bottom of your handbag. In which case I do hope they're only last night's, and yes, I like lingerie. I'm a book of taste and manner, too good to be left under an ever-growing pile of dirty socks interladen with used condoms, paper wads, or both. Beer cans, pizza boxes, and freezer food, in which case, get a grip, dude. Pull me out from under this murk and read me. It's better than anything else you're doing with your life right now. Now, for both of us. Because your now is also my now as I'm being read, and my now, while I'm being written, is also your now. Because you are reading me as I am written, I shall and must forever remain and be. Standing frozen in an endless now of having been thus written. And intermittent nows of being read, of which there hopefully are many, in my future now, and if you're reading this many years from now and light years away, in my past. And by the way, where are we? Does the cat live? Maybe I should come in a box set. That way you can open the box and find out. I don't know. I'm just a book. I know nothing. Run, turtle, run.